Welcome, everyone. This is episode 33 of Be the Real You podcast, and I'm Sherry Harmel, business and life coach and founder, as well as editor of Be the Real You magazine. This episode is titled Staying Grounded While Going Through Change, but it has a subtitle, and that is that there are no U-Hauls behind the hearse. I hope that makes you laugh, and I'll explain in just a minute. As I've shared in previous podcasts, I've moved back to Boston after 3 years in Minneapolis, and this was a move I wanted, so it's a welcome change. I had tears in my eyes when my Uber came out of the tunnel from the airport and drove onto Storrow Drive. I knew in my gut that I was back where I belonged. And yet, this move has been incredibly disruptive in my sense of being grounded and solidly confident. I'm in a temporary apartment, as you can see, which is also adding to this instability. So lesson number one, even when you want to change, you're ready for the change, you're sure of the change, it will shake up your world as you go through it and possibly even make you question your decision. It's all normal to be a little shaky when living the new change in your life. And even though I keep coaching myself, I feel ungrounded and even a bit unsettled. The result of feeling ungrounded is this total lack of focus. And even, I have to say, creativity goes out the window. It takes but a nudge of distracting thoughts or experiences. And truly, I'm off in a direction that has nothing to do with what I want to be doing. This experience has showed me that even though we desire a certain change in our lives, when we're in the change, we're ungrounded, and our minds and even our bodies can go into flight or fight mode. This is actually what creates our distractibility and this complete lack of creativity. And this might be exactly why many of you possibly retreat from change, even when it's change that you want. So, how do you cope with these feelings? Well, get quiet. Getting quiet helps yourself to slow down. And if you slow down your body, then you'll be able to slow down your mind. In last week's podcast, I talked about journaling. Now, that's a great place to start. But if that doesn't work for you or in that particular moment, then just sit in quiet. I had to resort to just a few moments of quiet several times when the movers were loading the truck. When I shut the door on the house that I had put so much love and possibilities into, I started to cry. As I handed those keys to the real estate agent. Then, arriving at my short-term rental in Boston, I went over and inspected my new home and tried to imagine my life in that apartment. It all sounds really good. And yes, it's all what I need and what I want to do at this point in my life. But every single step along the way required that I paused, let the change sink in, and ground myself with my faith and my hope for the future that this new life will once again be fantastic. But what about that no U-Hauls behind the hearse title? Well, this aspect of change is about our stuff. You might be able to relate. I'm a collector of stuff. I like china. I love beautiful paintings. I hold on to memorabilia and books. Oh my God, the books. Last Friday, I sort of freaked out when I stood in my new apartment and remembered all those boxes that will be coming from my very large home into a much smaller apartment. I was totally confused, and I wondered to myself, what in the world is inside all those boxes? I was feeling very low that night and seriously wondered if I should have stretched myself and purchased a larger apartment. Remember my distractibility comment? Well, instead of dealing with the question, I found myself scrolling on YouTube, and a commencement speech given by Denzel Washington popped up. Now, I didn't pay much attention to what Denzel was saying until he started to discuss our stuff. And he said, quote, "There is never a U-Haul truck driving behind a hearse." And he went on to say, the Egyptians tried to take their stuff with them. And we all know how that turned out. Wow, the angels were speaking to me. I had come face to face with all my stuff. Our stuff, though, represents much more than what it literally is. It actually represents both our past and our future. And I think that's why it's so hard to give our stuff away. My high school yearbooks, the tags that came from my children's hospital bassinets when they were born, the little dress I embroidered for myself when I was pregnant with my son, my journals and photos, they're all part of my past. My books are both my past and my present. If I love a book, honestly, I struggle to give it away. I can jump back into the stories when I just look at the book jackets. And as a reader, you all, if you're a reader, you know what I mean. Then when we relate it to future, there are all the books I'm going to read, or the books that have ideas of things that I want to do or create. And the china, well, that china I'm saving is for fabulous dinner parties I'm going to have in the future. Some of the clothes, I've got pants that are too tight and I can't wear them until I lose weight, but I don't want to give them up. Again, my future. It's hard to throw away our past or our future. So I seem to be lugging them around the country with me. But Denzel is right. Lesson number 2, none of us can take our stuff with us when our time is up. And that was a message I needed to hear. I don't need a larger apartment. I need to be able to let go of both my past and my so carefully planned out future. The past is gone, and what we have all learned, I should say, from COVID, is that the future isn't sure, no matter how much planning we do. So change isn't one thing. It's more like a pebble that you throw into a pond. You decide to toss that pebble, it lands, and there is a series of ripples that are created by your decision to toss that pebble. Change, whether big or small, creates a ripple effect. And it is the ripples that make us feel ungrounded and uneasy. The new job, starting a business, getting married, getting divorced, having a child, embracing an empty nest, the passing of a loved one. These are all events that create subsequent ripples. Now, to lesson number 3. It is in the ripples that we need support. I am incredibly grateful to my very good friends, Boston, Minneapolis, and Paris. They all supported me to make the decision to move back to Boston. But even more important, they continued to support me when I felt a little lost, or even still do feel a little lost and sometimes ungrounded. They understand why I cried when I handed over the keys to my house of beautiful fantasies. So lesson number 3 required me to share my feelings and welcome the support that my friends really today continue to give me. This lesson actually required me to not pretend I've got this, because not so long ago, the super competent woman that I am would have said just that, I've got this, and asked for no help. Instead, this time, I reached out and not only asked for help, but I welcomed whatever gifts of help my friends gave to me. If you're like me, it's really hard to do that. And yet, we are better women when we accept help than when we armor up, so to speak. So in summary, try to be happy with the ripples any change you are making might be bringing into your life. Get quiet to find or stay connected to your center. Remind yourself that you can't take anything with you. So simplify and hold on to only the best of your past and future. And 3, know that it takes an exceptionally strong woman to ask for help. And last, let's toast every U-Haul truck we see on the road that is filled with stuff. Now, my Facebook group is a place of community. Really, this is where women who want to grow their confidence as they choose new paths in their lives, this is where they go. They might yearn for a community of like-minded women, and you might be able to relate to that because it's important to know that you're not alone in your journey. So join the Facebook group. These women, the other women in the group, as well as myself, might end up being your support group when you feel a little shaky due to the ripples that have been created by your changes. Now, another support could be it's called Be the Real You magazine. And if you're a woman that's ready to be inspired, self-reflected, maybe likes to laugh a little, just go to my website, sherryharmel.com, and subscribe. Now, I want to thank you for sharing your precious time to listen to this podcast. Do subscribe so you get notice of each weekly topic, and please leave a review because reviews matter in the podcast world. But most important, this week, comfort yourself in knowing that every change you make, even if it's what you've always wanted, is going to shake up your world a little bit. That's natural. Use your journal and ask your friends or the Facebook group for support. And when you look around at all your stuff, remember, there is never a U-Haul behind a hearse. So be the real you starting today. Take good care, everyone, and I'll see you soon. A bientôt.